time for talk about games. Played by Ryan and Mike. A modern, a retro video game show. Yes, we talk about games and sometimes other stuff like Star Trek. It's a blast, our gaming podcast.
This episode is brought to you by Raid Shadow Legends.
Now, Raid Shadow Legends, it's definitely something that's gone around the internet a lot, and a lot of people have done brand deals for it, and I've done a brand deal for it before. And when I did a brand deal for it the first time, I had never played the game before, and I was like, okay, let's check this out. So I didn't want to just play the game for a minute and be like, oh, here's this Raid Shadow Legends. I actually put a lot of hours into playing that game, like originally. I expected maybe I'd play it for like an hour, 2 hours, maybe 3. I ended up playing that game for like 30-something hours.
Wow.
And I ended up liking it a lot more than I expected to like it. So when this came along, I was like, oh, this is cool. Like, I've actually put some time into this game before. So we want to tell you about what they have now. It's the 3rd anniversary of Raid Shadow Legends. And I thought it'd be fun to pick the 3 scariest looking champions.
Yeah, there's a lot of champions in it that are like Halloween or like they're scary. But like the first one that we picked was Brachus the Shifter, because he's like a werewolf character.
Right. I'm picking Vidrax. He looks like a moth sent from the pits of hell.
Yeah, and last up is Harvest Jack. He's a pumpkin-headed undead spirit, and he wears the heads of his enemies as trophies. What's new in Raid? The game now has new heroes, a new faction called the Shadowkin, and a new boss called the Hydra.
And Raid is kicking off their anniversary with free gifts for everybody. There's new champions and artifacts and personalized video that highlights the player's journey and personal achievements.
You can get awesome champions, loads of shards, and other cool stuff.
If you are not playing Raid yet, you can click the link in the description or scan the QR code and you'll get a B-Day package worth $40.
3 free champions at once. You get Misericord, Tiger Soul, and Ramiro.
And you get 10 Magic XP brews, 10 Force XP brews, and 10 Spirit brews.
You can get all of that treasure here.
If you've been playing Raid already, you'll get free gifts worth over $25 when you use the promo code 3YearsRaid.
So celebrate the anniversary of this awesome game. Play today. Hello and welcome to another Talk About Games. I'm Ryan.
And I'm Mike. And today I'm going to talk about Double Dragon 2 for NES. And what do you have?
King of Fighters 15.
15?
15.
Has there been 15 of them?
Oh, hold on. Let me count. I wrote them down.
Oh, my God.
You got King of Fighters 94, 95, 96, 97. That's 4, right? Then you got 98.
Yeah.
99, 2000. 2001, right? Then you got 2002, 2003, so that's 10. Okay? Then when you get to 10, you got King of Fighters 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And there's been a shit ton other King of Fighters games.
I didn't know there was that many of these.
Right?
Yeah.
There's been a ton of other King of Fighters games, but that's the main line.
I think the only one I've ever tried was the first one.
Yeah.
That's it. I didn't know there's 15?
15.
And when did this new one come out?
2 weeks ago, something like
wow.
that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I guess, are we talking about it?
Yeah, I mean, I guess we could talk about it first if you want to. Yeah.
You want me to talk about Double Dragon?
Dude, I love Double Dragon.
We're going to talk about Double Dragon.
Let's do it.
All right. So Double Dragon. So this was an arcade game.
Yep. Technos, Japan.
I want to start with this. So the original Double Dragon.
Yeah.
So I had the NES game as a kid. It was hard and I couldn't get very far as a kid.
Yeah.
The original NES Double Dragon. Liked it though. Always liked the game. I went to Disney World. It was probably about 1990, 91, something like that. It might have been 89, somewhere in there. I don't remember. It was a long time ago.
Okay.
They had a arcade in one of the hotels I was staying at, and I got the opportunity to. They had a free play.
Oh wow!
You just play the games,
Yep.
or maybe it wasn't free play. I might have had to pay. my parents probably just gave me money to play. I don't remember. Either way, I sat there and I beat Double Dragon in the arcade in Disney World. And that, as a kid, that was one of the only couple times I ever beat an arcade game in my life. That, and I remember at a movie theater, I beat Simpsons.
Yeah.
A couple years later. But I usually didn't get to beat arcade games.
For
as
a
a kid.
long time, Double Dragon 2 was like the main game I played with friends. Because if you're a little kid, like a lot of the platformers and stuff are hard. But in this game, at least you're like punching people. You feel like you can get somewhere.
The first game?
No, Double Dragon 2.
Oh, Double Dragon 2, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I just wanted to briefly mention the first game. But so, like, I like the first Double Dragon.
Yeah.
I was able to beat it on stream, and at the end of the first Double Dragon, you fight, it's Machine Gun Willie, and he's really difficult.
Yeah.
Like, that game's pretty tough, like, in general, I guess, but when you get to that, it's like a whole nother level. It's like, all right, now it's like serious shit. Mm-hmm. So anyway, I do like the first Double Dragon, but Double Dragon 2 is my favorite. The Revenge is my favorite Double Dragon. Now I got to mention the box art.
Yeah.
Because it has some of the nicest box art of any NES game, maybe any video game. It's like some of the best box art ever.
Yeah.
It's like up there with like Doom and stuff. It's great. I wish I should have looked it up. I don't know the artist that did it, but it's a phenomenal art. Anyway, so Double Dragon 2, it's my favorite Double Dragon game. And after replaying it, it's still my favorite Double Dragon game. My opinion didn't change. Everybody knows that Double Dragon 3 is a little eh.
Well, it was kind of cool that they had the characters that you could switch and the nunchucks and stuff like that.
It is
but,
cool,
like,
yeah.
You don't have enough resources. You don't have enough lives. The character you get, the little like odd job looking dude you get, is like not good.
Right.
Yeah.
There's the Super Nintendo one, and then there's also Double Dragon Neon. Mm-hmm. And Double Dragon Neon I liked.
Yep.
But it's like a game that I played through once, and I probably wouldn't bother to play through it again. Yeah. I did like it, but it's like I'm not going to play it more than once.
And then in modern times, there's Double Dragon 4.
Mm-hmm.
After Neon is 4, which is weird. But now, like, the Double Dragon and the Kunio-kun, like the River City Ransom games are like kind of crossing over.
Right.
A lot. So, like, you see like a Bobo and River City
That's
Ransom
so weird.
and stuff like that. So, yeah, like, I feel like right now River City Ransom is kind of like supplanted Double Dragon in the new stuff, and that's a little weird for me.
Yeah. So I played Double Dragon 2 then, and as a kid, this game confused the shit out of me. I tried to play it, and the way the controls are a little weird because basically I think it's like you hit the B button and then it makes him kick to the left. I might get this wrong, but basically it's like, and then if you turn around, you hit the B button and he punches. And then same thing the other way. If you hit the A button, he kicks in one direction, and if you flip around, he punches.
You just hit the button in the direction that you're facing will always be punch.
Right. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's like a thing you got to get used to. And when I was a kid, it was too much for my brain. It like broke my brain. And I was like, I can't do this. But I mean, I would play it a little bit here and there, but I couldn't never get very far. I would just get kind of frustrated with the controls.
Yeah.
I couldn't just get that down. But I got more used to it over the years. I'd play it sometimes in college and whatnot. And I'm pretty sure that a long time ago, I beat this game on the normal. Yeah. But I've never beat it on Supreme Master until a couple days ago. And I didn't even really ever consider.
I don't think I've ever attempted Supreme Master.
Yeah. So, but before we get to that, let's go through the levels. So the first level, you're walking on the streets, and it's just like the classic Double Dragon, shit. You're walking down the street, enemies come, you're punching them, you're kicking them, all that. You have what I really love about the controls in the game is, an enemy comes up to you and you start punching them, right? But what you do then, let's say you're punching the guy, you're tapping the button. Then if you push the D-pad a little bit toward the guy, you'll kind of take a little bit of a step forward, and that's when the punch turns into a grab. Yeah. And then if you hit up or down, it changes into a different like kind of finisher move. And I think it's if you hit down at the end of that, he'll do the elbow to the back of the neck.
Right.
And that is like the most fucking satisfying thing to do in the game. Like I've talked about on this show and in general, like satisfying controls. And when you play like a shooter or something, and like a bullet passes through something, and it's like that's not fun. But sometimes games have to have that like sort of hit detection, or that feeling, or like Mike Tyson's Punch Out has good feeling when it's got that perfect sound effect.
The pops in this game are awesome. Like when a firecracker explodes.
Yeah.
When you do the uppercut. When you do all of those things, it's like very poppy.
You feel everything.
Yeah.
And it feels good to play. And the other thing is then if you do that move and you hit up, it does a kick, and then you can like kick a guy like off there's all kinds of different moves you can do. So you have these back kicks you can do jump kicks, you jump in the air and do like a spin kick. The best move in the entire game is the knee. The knee.
The jumping knee.
The jumping knee.
It's Sagat's knee.
From
Street Fighter.
So basically, normally what you do is you jump.
Yeah.
So you do the one jump, and after that one jump, you kind of like wait a beat, and then I've always had a hard time like getting that knee to work. But I learned that you have to kind of just like wait. Just like a half a split second, and then you hit A and B together, and then your character does the knee move, which is the strongest move in the game. And if you can master that, you're gonna pretty much kick this game's ass. It's just a timing thing, though. The other thing you can do, though, and I never knew this until this week. So let's say an enemy comes up to you and they're beating the shit out of you, and you fall down, which will happen. That's actually not that bad of a thing. When you get knocked down, that's the other space when you can do the knee again. So when you're knocked down, when you're starting to get up, you do the A and B together, and if you can time it right, it's a very small window, but if you can time that right, he'll do the knee as you get up, and that is your like or it can be an uppercut.
Yeah. The uppercut's still good.
So yeah, that's essentially the biggest tip I can give to this game if you go to play it yourself. After you get knocked down, if there's like sometimes they'll be like in a bobo or something, or they'll take you and they'll throw you far away. If you're far away, you're not going to be able to.
He's just like, huh.
Yeah,
he just throws you.
But if you get knocked down and the enemy's like close to you, on the way up, you can uppercut or you can do the knee and like pretty much finish them off. Yeah. So a lot of these enemies that come out, like there's these purple guys that come out, and there'll be like two of them, and they're like throwing like shurikens at you, and they have swords and shit, and you're just like, what am I gonna do? But if they're kicking your ass and they're knocking you down, you do that knee directly after, and that's how you get through that kind of shit.
Right.
And I didn't know that previously, so it made the game like a little bit like more tolerable. But anyway, so you do the streets, you get to the end of the streets. The first boss of the game is he's this big burly dude, and he's got like armor on and a mask, and so you punch him, kick him, whatever, and after you beat the shit out of him for a little bit, I
got a question about that. So he like fades away.
Yeah.
And the mask falls on the ground. What the hell is happening?
I have no idea. The only thing, I don't know if you've ever seen the 1960s Batman movie, but at the end of that, they take like the Penguin or the Riddler or whatever. They take their henchmen, and they like dissolve them into the, like, you know how people are made up of like, you know, atoms and dust and whatever. Sure. They put like all their molecules like into a little tube, and then they take the tubes later, and then they like kind of drop water into it and like rehydrate the people,
like
and then they like
Rita
appear.
Repulsa in
right.
Power Rangers.
It reminds me of that. It's like this enemy who almost gets like dehydrated into his, like, I almost always felt like he had a thing on his back, maybe like a oxygen tank kind of thing.
Right.
Like I feel like he's getting dissolved away, but then he comes back. It's it's bizarre.
One of the craziest things about that boss is the gap where the screen locks and the part where he spawns are not 1-to-1.
Yeah.
If you go right to the top of the ladder at the right spot, where he spawns and the music changes.
Yeah.
And then you go down and keep walking down the like construction site.
Yeah.
You'll get to the point where he despawns.
You can despawn
beat the level.
I like little tricks like that you can do. So the second level is the heliport. It's before you get to the helicopter. You go through that. So, you know, you're starting to do like more platforming. There's a helicopter. This is an area where like you can kind of cheap out a lot of the enemies. Like they'll be like climbing down a ladder and you just punch them and you can like knock them off the cliff and stuff like that. There's another move you can do. I should mention it. I don't end up doing it a lot because I suck at it. But there's a move that you can do where you jump over the enemies and then you grab them and you can like throw them
and you just chuck them off the cliff.
And you can chuck them off the cliff. I don't use it because I'm bad at it, but
I had friends as a kid who just did that like perfect.
Yeah,
and it made it so easy.
Yeah, I'm terrible at that.
Yeah.
So you make it to the end of that level, and I think you're fighting those. It's the first time you encounter those like purple guys, and then you get on the helicopter. Third level is the helicopter. So do you know about the helicopter in this game?
I know about the helicopter, dude. We went out to eat before we shot this, and Mike's sitting there. I'm like, oh, you're doing Double Dragon, and I'm like, yo, Mike.
That's the perfect impression of the side door where the enemies come out of.
Enemies come out, and he got it right away, and I'm like, yes.
It's like, do it again. I want to hear it again. That's this door sound effect. Right. It does that, and then the enemies come out.
Yeah,
and you get these different groups of enemies, and they gradually get stronger and stronger types of enemies. So you got different guys. You got like the regular street dudes.
Right.
Then you got like the dudes who drop like the explosives. Then you got like the boxer dudes.
Yeah.
They're like gray and they have
the black gloves.
They have the black gloves
yeah.
and they're like punching you and shit. And then they start bringing out like the abobos.
Yeah.
And they look different than in the original game. In this, what you want to do basically in this helicopter area is every once in a while the side door opens and you're in a helicopter and it's like you're going to get sucked out of the helicopter. So you can you know what? If you can do that move where you can like throw the guys, you can throw them over there. I'm bad at that. So I just kind of hide in the corner on the left side of the screen and I try not to get over there because I'm just like always paranoid because in this game, I try to conserve all my lives. If I die at all, and that's such an easy death, it just like falling out the elevator and it's like, oh, well, there's one of my lives. So this game, why it's so hard, you get 3 lives.
Yep.
You don't get more lives. If you get lots of points, you can't get an extra life. There's not what you get when you start is what you get, and that's it. And you got to make it through the whole game. There's no continues. There's nothing. This is an NES game.
Yeah.
This is the definition of an NES game.
Yeah. It's like my teachers used to say in school, you get what you get and you don't get upset.
Well, you get very upset.
You get very upset.
I get very upset. I'm like slamming the table and whatever. So you throw all the guys out the door, whatever. You get through the level. You get to the next one. The next one I think is like, I want to say it's like the woods or something. And then there's this platforming area where you got to like jump on these sort of like little logs. You climb up a vine and then there's more abobos. They come out of a door. You knee them. You kick them off the cliff. You jump down from there. There's these guys with these like sticks, and they're like coming after you. What I learned about spawning is if you slowly spawn the screen, you can get it to where you only have to fight one guy at a time.
Good. Yeah.
So you do that, and then it's the end of this stage, and there's this big machine that's almost like a super mecha Death Christ type of thing. It's like this big machine thing that you gradually like can jump on conveyor belts and climb up, and there's like gas coming out of it and shit. It's like this crazy thing. You get to the top of it and all the enemies start coming out of the top, and then the final enemy that comes out is like Arnold.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm here! I will kill you! And he comes out and you're like, oh shit. But I learned a trick on him too.
Okay.
If you stand on top of his sprite, because he's a big sprite, you stand like on him and you just punch, and he just falls down, and then you move forward a little bit, and you just stay like right on his sprite, and you keep punching, and he falls down. That's like the trick to getting him. But positioning yourself in the right position is a little tricky to do.
Yeah.
Another thing you can do on that part is Arnold's walking around down there, and if you get him down to the bottom area, you can like jump kick him from higher up, and there's like nothing he can do. So there's a lot of like cheap things you can do to kind of like get through a lot of this.
Yeah, this is a very platformy fighting game.
It is
very platformy, so be ready for that.
So now you get to the next level, and you're getting into all the platforming stuff.
Right.
So here's the thing: a lot of people don't like this game because of some of the platforming. So there's these areas where on the normal mode on Warrior, the platforms disappear and then they reappear On Supreme Warrior, it happens the same. It's the same thing, but it happens faster.
I see.
So there's these floating platforms in the air, and they disappear. And as they're like disappearing, you got to jump off of them and then land on the next one, and then land on the next one to like make it through. It's kind of like the disappearing blocks in Mega Man, I guess.
Yeah, that was the thought that I had when I saw them.
So there's also like fire dropping down that can like hit you at the same time. The problem with this is if you fuck it up, you fall down into spikes and you lose a life.
Yes.
And then you have to do it over. So basically, if you die during these sections, you pretty much you're going to reset your Nintendo because you get 3 lives to get through the whole fucking game.
Right.
So this is one of those games. It's very much like a shmup where it's like you're playing Gradius. In the beginning of the game, in Gradius, you want to get all your options. You want to get the lasers. And you want to get all your stuff that you need to get. Once you got all the stuff, never die. You have to make it through the whole fucking game, or you're fucked. Like, you can get all your stuff back in like Gradius, but it's very hard to do. You might as well just reset the game. You're better off. So, all these platforming sections, it goes on and on and on. You fall into the spikes, whatever. Reset the game. You get into another area where there's conveyor belts and you have to jump on the conveyor belts, but the conveyor belts are all going in different directions.
Right.
So you jump on the first one, and the first one's like, okay, I gotta like run against this conveyor belt. But then you jump off onto the next one, but the other one's going that way.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh shit! And then you gotta turn around real quick, and then you're going the other way. But then there's a little teeny conveyor belt platform. You gotta jump on that, and then off of it real quick.
Yeah.
And it's really difficult to do.
Yeah, I kind of hate the small platform. Like, I think that's cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you get to the sort of what they call the trap area. The trap area is like this area with gears, and the gears are spinning, and there are these little spikes coming up from the bottom of the screen. They're coming up, and then they come up in the middle. They come up on the right. They come up on the very right, and then they go back the other way. Now they're coming back to the left. So you got to time it to where so the gears move, they stop. The gear moves, it stops. The gear moves, it stops. So you got to time it to where you jump on the gear kind of when it's stopping, like right before it's stopping, and then you got to go right after the spike is heading the other way.
I hate the spikes that just come down from the ceiling, like in the earlier part in the little hallway.
Yeah.
Let alone all
That's
of that.
the fire coming down. Yeah. So you got to go through these trap areas, and it's tough. Again, if you die, you're going to lose a life. Now you're down to 2 lives. You died again, you're down to 1. You're not going to beat the fucking game most likely if you're down to 1. You know, you got to not die. So, okay. You get to the last level.
Yep.
And there's like these totems all over. You're pretty much fighting all the same guys that you've been fighting. There's like room after room of the same motherfuckers that you've been fighting. The guys with the TNT, you punch them, they drop the TNT, and you try to trick them to walk into the fire. All this stuff that you've been doing the whole game. Arnold comes out again. He's like, I'm back. You know, you beat the shit out of him. You kick his ass. You knee him. Then there's a bunch of abobos. You fight all these abobos, kill them. You've seen all these enemies, right? But then you get to the final room, and you're like, okay, now the worst enemies in the game come out, but now they come out in groups. It's those purple guys, and they're running all around. They're throwing shurikens. They're jumping in the air.
Yeah.
So the way I get through it is, you know, I try to just do the knee as much as I can. If they knock me down, when I'm getting back up, I'm trying to knee them. I get through it. Eventually, you get through that, and then you fight your doppelganger. You fight the evil version of yourself. It appears, and you can jump kick them. You can spin kick them.
Right.
And sometimes you'll be walking around, and he will like possess you because he's kind of like your ghost or something. I don't even. Right. It's a weird game. I don't know.
Well, he turns invisible and then he grabs you.
Yeah, he like grabs you and he's like punching you, but he possesses you and he's like beating you like from the inside or something. I don't know. It's weird. Anyway, you fight him long enough. You eventually, if you're good enough to take him down, he's the final guy you can fight on Warrior on normal. So it's like easy, medium, hard, basically. So on the normal mode, Warrior, he's the last guy. And then a message comes up and it's like, but you're not the Supreme Master though. So then you're like, fuck, now I gotta beat this game on Supreme Master. So if you do that after you beat the clone guy, you go to the final guy. It's the Supreme Master. So the Supreme Master which you don't get in any other mode. Essentially, he is like a guy. I think he's got like green hair and he's like a bodybuilder type of guy.
I just want to say something.
Yeah.
So I had never known. Like I've beaten the Shadow Double Dragon dude so many times, and I never tried it on Supreme Master. I'm like, why? Why would I do that?
Right.
But when you showed me this guy, I'm like, he looks like a Dragon Ball Z character. He looks like freaking Vegeta, or like with the green hair, like Brawly or something.
So this game came out in 1988. I don't know when that came out.
So
Maybe
Dragon Ball Z had
earlier.
already come out, but if you're talking about green-haired Saiyans,
Yeah.
you wouldn't have had those until Broly came out in 93.
Okay.
So maybe the people were making that were
Playing
Double Dragon, being like, oh yeah, what if we did a green-haired Saiyan? Oh, that'd be crazy. Yeah, let's do that.
I wonder if that's the truth.
Dude, that'd be
or there could
crazy.
be like other animes that came
There
previously.
could be a million. Like you don't know.
Right.
I mean, how much anime are we watching, really?
Right. I mean,
Right, but that's like a big example, like the shoulder pads he has and stuff.
It looks like him.
It's
yeah.
like, come on,
Right.
It's definitely a Saiyan.
So this guy, the final guy, all you got to really do is jump kick him.
Right.
But the only problem is he's doing backflips away from you. So to jump kick him, it's a little bit difficult. And the other thing he does is he turns completely invisible. So then you just kind of just like jump kick around like haphazardly and hope you hit him. And sometimes he'll hit you.
Yeah.
But you keep just jump kicking him, and eventually you can get him. So the main thing I want to say about this game is that I beat the game on Supreme Master.
Yes.
Then I was like, all right, I didn't. Well, it took me a while. I did a couple streams of the game, and then finally on the third stream, I was like, all right, by the end of this stream, this 3-hour stream, whatever, I'm gonna beat this damn game.
Right.
So my first playthrough of it, I beat it, and I didn't expect that. I figured I'd be playing it for like 4 hours until I finally did it. So I beat it like immediately, and I was like, shit, now I don't know what to do. So now I'm just like popping on random other like NES games and stuff. So I put on like the Flintstones, and like I'm just like playing just stupid shit. And
there you go.
I'm playing these other games. I played some Paperboy, and I played this and that, and I felt like I want to still just play Double Dragon 2 again.
Right.
And I feel like that's the mark of a really good game is I beat the entire game, and I still want to play it.
You're not like, oh, thank God.
Goodbye.
No, you're like
Double Dragon 2. I'm like, I want to do it again.
Yeah.
That's
cool.
That's how good it is. But the problem is I don't really have a reason to, because I did the hardest thing there is to do. So, but like, it is such a fun game to play.
Yeah.
And so in the past I had done top 10 videos and top 20 videos on my favorite NES games and stuff like that. I didn't put Double Dragon 2 on there. And I remember putting Kirby's Adventure on there. And I like Kirby's Adventure, but if I made that list today, I'd put Double Dragon 2 on there.
New Kirby game at midnight tonight.
It's coming out. Like Target's got like their
I'm sure they
things
do.
out.
Everybody's like ready to
Everybody's ready to go. Are you going to get Kirby?
Oh, yeah. I want to see Kirby eat a car. Let's go.
So that's Double Dragon 2. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just wanted to bring it to the show. I mean, listen, that's a game that all you guys have probably played before. I don't know if I brought anything new to it other than the fact that I can say that, I think it stands the test of time just because of how fun it is. Like, it's just a goddamn fun game to play. If you play it you can play the game 2-player co-op as well.
Good.
And the thing about it is, if you play it in co-op, the game does not scale. So it's an easier game. If you want to beat it on Supreme Master, bring in a friend and it'll be much easier.
But there's still all the platforming and stuff.
There is still all the platforming.
Right.
So, yeah.
So make sure you can jump.
Make sure you can jump.
Yeah.
So, all right. Ryan's got King of Fighters.
I'm playing King of Fighters 15. 15 King of Fighters games. But if you think about it, there's more than 15 King of Fighters games, because King of Fighters started as like the SNK All-Stars, right? You're talking early King of Fighters. What are you thinking? You're thinking Terry Bogard. You're thinking Geese Howard. You're thinking Art of Fighting. You're thinking all of these characters from the past, right? And a lot of people get caught into this this bubble of thinking King of Fighters is just Smash Brothers for SNK characters.
So you listed earlier, you're like going through the years 2003, 2004, and there's 15 of these King of Fighters games. So why would you pick two things? Why would you pick this game to talk? I guess because it's the new one. That's why you picked that to talk about. But why are you talking about King of Fighters as opposed to there's 100 million fighting games out there? Why King of Fighters? What's special about King of Fighters compared to anything else?
So I think that SNK had a challenge with this King of Fighters because there's a new Street Fighter coming. Everybody knew it was coming. They announced Street Fighter 6. So there was all these new games coming out. Mortal Kombat's on top of the world. Mm-hmm. Everyone's playing Tekken. All of that. SNK had trouble going from 2D to 3D. There's a lot of growing pains. The early SNK 3D games were not as good as they could have been, and it was hard to build a fan base, right? But I like supporting the underdog, right? And, we could play Capcom Street Fighter all day long, right?
Sure, why not?
But you want to play something unique. Like King of Fighters is a game that has a unique culture. It has a unique history. Right?
Yeah.
It's not Smash Brothers for SNK characters. It's a story that has spanned across multiple sagas.
Right.
And, it's something that I wanted to learn about.
When did the first one?
1994.
94.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was 10 years old when this game first came out.
Now, it was... do you remember for your first experience with King of Fighters?
Yeah, I just remember going to Neo Geo cabinets because the first several games are all on the Neo Geo. And I remember it's like, oh, what's this fighting game? What's these characters? And I remember there was one guy that had big fat guy that had chains around him.
Right.
And I was like, oh, that's cool. The character design of these games is really cool.
Yeah.
And it just bleeds history. There's so much going on. It's a very technical game, right? Like Street Fighter is a very technical game. Tekken's a very technical game, but King of Fighters is almost in a tier of its own in terms of how difficult it is.
Now, I saw you playing it, and I don't know much about it, but I know that so you have basically you have this meter that you're trying to fill, and as the meter's filling, you're
doing
specials.
So here's the deal.
Yeah.
The best way to think of it is King of Fighters without meter, and a lot of people have said this online. I'm not the first person to say this, but King of Fighters without meter plays like classic Street Fighter, where you're doing quarter circle motions or charging motions, and you're doing basic attacks. You might have a fireball.
So is it too similar that way?
You might have all of that. But King of Fighters, when you have a lot of meter, plays like Marvel versus Capcom.
Okay.
Where you're doing these crazy attack, screen covering attacks, and you're doing everything. But the way the meter works, there's a bunch of different ways to use it.
Isn't it just when you're attacking, it fills up?
It fills up.
Right.
But so there's EX moves. So I'm going to use Street Fighter analogies because everybody knows Street Fighter.
Yeah.
Ryu does a fireball.
Mm-hmm.
So there are characters in this game that just do a fireball.
Okay.
Right? So you're doing your fireball, but then let's say that you hit the two punch buttons instead of one when you do the fireball motion. Your character will flash yellow or gold, and they'll do the EX version that's more powerful. So the EX version of a move might have armor where it blocks, so it could go through a normal attack. An EX fireball may swallow up the fireball from the other person and keep going.
Yeah.
Right? It may go out faster, so it can chain and do combos that otherwise wouldn't be possible with a normal move. Mm-hmm. So a lot of the combos you're seeing, it is such a good feeling. This is a skill-based game.
Yeah.
So when you do something cool, you really feel like you earned it. And I think that's the pleasure in playing this game. So you chain together.
Is the coolest thing when you're when you purposely deflect somebody else's attack?
I mean, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I even like the feeling the blocking where you're blocking, you're high. Oh, the next attack's going to be low. Oh, now I punish them and do a counter attack.
Right.
Oh, there's wake up attacks. You could do Ryu in Street Fighter does the dragon punch where he goes sure, you can.
Yes, of course.
Right. You could do that while you're laying on the ground and have that be where you pop up.
Oh, really?
Right. So you can go straight from, oh, I fell over. Oh, I'm going I'm gonna roll and then do that and just take them out.
So I know the Street Fighter characters.
Yes.
I know, even though I'm not like much of a fighting game guy, when I was, in the Super Nintendo era, I did. A lot of my friends wanted to play Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat, so I'd play it with them. So I ended up playing them anyway.
Yeah.
So I know all the Mortal Kombat characters. I know the Street Fighter characters. Like, they're ingrained forever in my mind. But I don't really know the King of Fighters characters. So who are the characters? Like,
okay, I'll give you some.
Yeah.
So Terry Bogard is the protagonist of Fatal Fury. He's like the guy in the red cap, like the.
Okay.
And, his fireball goes along the ground, right?
Yeah.
His brother
Yeah.
is like a ninja type dude who does like a dashing attack, and he has
Okay.
like a regular fireball and all that. Kyo is from Art of Fighting. I don't know if you remember that, but he plays like...
This Neo Geo. This is all Neo Geo, huh?
Right.
Yeah.
So he plays really good. There's Athena,
Yeah.
who you may remember from the game Athena.
The arcade game and the NES game?
Yeah.
Is in this?
Is in this. And she has been in every single one of these games.
So are all the characters from other games?
They're not. So let me go down
They're
the...
not.
Let me
So
go,
there's some original King of
Yeah.
Fighters characters.
so let me go down the teams.
Okay.
So in this game, you don't just pick one character. You pick 3.
Okay.
But it's not tag
If
team.
one gets knocked out, the next comes in, or?
Yes.
Okay.
And when you knock the other opponent out, you gain back health based on how much time it took.
Right.
So if the round is a minute and you knock them down in 5 seconds, you're going to get a ton of health back.
Yeah.
But if you knock them down with only 1 second left, you'll get barely any health back.
Is it you get 3 characters per match
Yes.
per enemy, or to go through the whole tier?
Per match.
Per match, okay.
Yeah, you get them back after
Okay.
that. So these are 3 character teams.
Does the enemy also have 3?
Yes.
Okay.
And there's
Opponent, I
no
should say.
tagging. Here's the difference. Your first character only can have 3 bars worth of meter. That's the max that they can max out.
Okay.
Then when your character dies, your character retains the meter plus gets 1 more.
Okay.
So the second character can have 4 meter.
Okay.
4 bars.
What about the third one?
Then the third character, I think, can have 6. It's either 5 or 6, but they have even more.
So you get more and more if you die.
Right?
Yeah.
So then you're thinking about, well, who do I want my first character to be? Well, my first character is going to start at 0 meter.
Right.
So I want them to...
And if you have more of a meter, let's say you have the shorter meter, or you have like this, it goes up to 5 or 6.
Yeah.
Is there a more crazy attack you can do
Yeah.
on 6 comparatively? So you might want to play the game again and again and have that third person be somebody else so that you can see a different move?
Exactly.
Okay.
So EX moves use half a meter.
Mm-hmm.
Supers, which you flash red when you do them, use a whole meter. And then there's the climax supers, which use multiple meters. So the climax supers are like cinematics. It's like you fired off a summon from Final Fantasy or something,
Right.
I mean, you still have to connect with it. You could still whiff on it, but if you connect, it's going to do a cinematic.
Yeah.
Like, I like Ralph from, he's actually a character from Akari Warriors and Metal Slug.
Wait, so there's Athena and Akari Warriors? in
Yeah.
this? Okay.
So when he does his special,
Akari Warriors is SNK.
Yeah.
Right. So I guess that makes sense that they pulled that in. I didn't think, and I guess
Yeah.
like, Athena is.
And they like
SNK, yeah.
combine them. So
Yeah.
so Ralph is in Metal Slug 7, but when he does his special, he just blows up the stage and it's just all on fire.
Yeah.
And he walks towards the camera like this, like he's like
Yo, do they have like the shock troopers?
they should, right? They
Right.
just keep adding different people.
Yeah.
But it's funny, like I want to go through the teams. So of the sagas of, the King of Fighters are broken into 3 games. There's been 4 sets of protagonists and rivals. Think about it like Pokemon. So, the Pokemon, there's the Ash, the Pokemon trainer.
Yeah.
And then he has Blue, who is his rival.
Right.
So there's always like a hero team. And there's always a rival team. So in the Orochi saga, which is like a story about these 3 relics that sealed these evil snake people.
is that saga
95, 96,
That's
and
the
97.
earlier games.
That's the first.
Okay.
But the characters are still in it.
This is like dividing out the Godzilla, like
Right.
There's the Showa series and the like.
So yeah, I mean, Japan loves to do this.
Right.
You know, we were talking about Dragon Ball earlier. It's like
the different sagas.
Yeah, there's Frieza and Broly and
it's like Sailor Moon does that.
Yeah, Sailor Moon R,
and
S, and
all
all
that.
that.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So the first team was the Orochi team versus the Three Sacred Treasures. Both those teams are still in the game.
Okay.
Then
who would they get rid of?
They're always moving, and
Okay.
people change teams. It's almost like a comic book, you know, like the X-Men always have different people
in it.
Like the Fatal Fury team.
That always bothered the shit out of me.
Yeah.
I'd always be like, why does this not have Rogue in it? Or something, you know.
Yeah.
I want people feel that way. Are there characters that you like wish or like?
Yeah.
You know?
Well, so now we live in a world of DLC.
Oh, yeah,
right?
That's true.
So like, the last Fatal Fury game is called Garu: Mark of the Wolves.
Okay.
And in that,
That sounds like the title to one of those Toho games.
yeah.
There's something similar to that. I forget what it is.
So it was on Dreamcast, PS2. It's on Neo Geo. You can get it.
Yeah.
Limited Run Games put it out on PS4. That's probably the easiest way to play it now if you don't play an
on
emulated one.
PS4.
Yeah, so Geese Howard, who was the bad guy from Fatal Fury,
Okay.
had a son named Rock Howard.
Okay.
And he's like the hero of Garu: Mark of the Wolves. And this game came out, and
So is he the M. Bison of Fatal Fury?
Geese Howard is.
Geese Howard is.
But Rock Howard is like one of the heroes of Garu.
What about Mo Howard?
Oh, he's not in it.
Oh,
Sorry. Yeah.
they need to get him.
So anyway, this game came out, and people are like, "Oh, where is he? We don't have any Garu awesome characters, right? Except for Terry Bogard." And they're like, and there's a few other ones, but then that's the DLC just came out,
Okay.
right? The next DLC they're coming out with Team Southtown, which is
So you're gonna get everything eventually.
which is gonna have Geese
Right.
Howard in it.
How much is the DLC?
I forget what I paid for it. So I bought like the first pack,
Yeah.
which got the 6 more characters
Okay.
in it. But then they just announced a free character who was one of the bosses of the prior sagas. that
You just get it free.
You're just gonna get.
Okay.
So they told the story of the Sacred Treasures, Orochi, Snake People, all that. That was 95, 96, 97. Then they did the Nests Chronicle, which Nests, they were like bioengineered. They like cloned from DNA and things. And those teams are the K team and the Cronin team.
Okay.
And Cronin, they actually had to rename the character because they were afraid of being sued. His name was originally K49, and they thought he looked too much like a character from Akira.
Oh.
So there was a lot of fan controversy. So when he was announced for this game, people like freaked out,
Okay.
right? So they're all like engineered pretty boy, like
Right.
like corporate
Okay.
type stuff. And that was
weird.
99, 2000, and 2001.
Yeah.
Then there was the Tales of Ash, which was 2003, 11, and 13. Their rivals are also in the game now. So like,
So all of these different eras and all of these different sagas are all in or going to be in 15.
yeah.
So
this
it's
is
kind of
like
like
a-
the Ultimate Edition,
Right.
Yeah.
No, you get towards the end of these King of Fighters games, and they stopped being well received. Like the early games are like beloved. And
When was the last one that came out? How long has it been?
Oh, it's only been a few years.
Okay.
Like 3, 4.
So this isn't like a huge gap,
It's not like a huge gap, but
like Streets of Rage.
right.
Right.
But the games that came out before, like people are like, oh, they're fine, like fans of the series. But this is the first game that really is like getting people's minds set. Like people really like the new systems that are in it. It just feels really good. And I was looking at this game and I'm like, I want a challenge. I want to learn something. I want to feel good, you know,
Yeah.
doing the fighting and all.
So how are you playing this game? Are you using an arcade stick or are you using like a pad?
So you really don't want to play fighting games with a controller.
Mm-hmm.
You can. People do. It's fine. There's people that are way better at me that do.
Right.
But you're starting like
You know what? People say that about shmups too.
Right.
And I gotta say something is so you know how they do those like speed running competitions and all that.
Yeah.
There is you know those cave like shmups and all that.
Yeah.
They have one Mushihai Misama Futari.
Okay.
Where the
Good,
guy
good pronunciation.
Was it good or
It was good.
bad?
It was really good.
So the guy who has the world record, or from what I know at least, or one of the world records, plays on a pad.
Right.
And you always hear, especially with shmups, that you want to use a stick. And I prefer to use a control pad usually. But with fighting games, it tends to always be sticks. And why do you think? I think a lot of people have different opinions on this. Like this is kind of like a hot topic.
So fighting games are about precision, right? And like one of the things I do when I'm practicing is I'll do like 50 Hadoukens or 50 Dragon Punches or something. And I'll do them in a sequence, like while I'm like warming up to get into like learning new combos.
To make sure you can do it
something
every
like
time
that
consistently.
And it's like, can I do this move every time, the same time, consistently? And I have to tell you that there are some D-pads, like the PlayStation D-pad has really good separation, like where it's not connected. But then how do you do diagonals consistently on it, right? Like what does down right look like? On a stick, I can tap right, down. I can do those like Z motions, like pa pa pa, like that, or like the half circle, and I can hear the clicks in the stick. So it's like right.
As a kid, I always had trouble doing like the half circle, quarter circle stuff.
Right.
On the D-pad. Maybe that was maybe I'd have an easier time with a stick.
Yeah, once you get like I did not get good at using a stick till I owned an arcade machine.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Because and you could do it with a controller. It's just that's how I happen to do it.
Right.
Because we got this amazing
like a candy cap, the candy cabs.
With the amazing deal on the candy cabs in the hallway. They were like super cheap. And I was like, oh, I guess I'll do this. I wasn't really into it, but I was into having stuff.
Right.
And I sat and I played Street Fighter over there for hours. Street Fighter Alpha 2. And I got to the point where I could consistently do the Dragon Punches, the Shoryuken. And
with arcade games, I prefer to use a stick for like the classic games. If I'm playing Miss Pac-Man, I'd rather play with the real arcade stick any day of the fucking week.
Right.
Over a D-pad, you know.
Well, what I like in Mario Brothers is, and a lot of the Nintendo ones, is the Nintendo sticks are gated to only go left and right. Yeah. Because that's all you can do in the game. Right. And it's nice to know I'm going right, I'm going left.
No matter what, right?
No matter what. It's kind of like a unique experience.
True. You know what one I don't like though? You ever play Tapper?
Yes.
Tappers, like the actual machine, the real thing, is an actual like beer tap.
Yeah.
I don't like those. I never did.
It's like a novelty.
Yeah, I could never really get used to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like, I use a fight stick because I feel like, for instance, this game has like a bunny hop.
What fight stick do you use?
I use the Obsidian, the Kaba Obsidian.
The Obsidian Order.
Yeah. Goldacott comes. Yeah.
Is he on the side? He's on the. He should be on the bezel of it.
Yeah, we're kind of in like this weird thing, and it hasn't been a problem for King of Fighters, but like my fight stick, if I play certain PS5 games, like if I left it plugged in, and a PS5 game pops up, it might say, "Oh, it's not compatible."
If anybody knows where I can get a custom Gold Ducat Cardassian arcade Obsidian stick for Ryan for Christmas, please send me an email or a Twitter message. Thank you very much.
Dude, that'd be crazy,
right?
Would it?
Somebody does custom like Gold Ducat on there, and like the Cardassian ship. What is
dude?
I know like a Romulan warbird,
like a Galore class. Yeah. Dude, I remember when Enterprise came out and the Andorian they had the Andorian actor like do like a YouTube video or something about it. And they were so excited that they like motorized his little
things on
his head. They were like, they're like, yo, check it out.
It's moving. They're moving.
Right. That was like, yeah, that's why I want to watch that show.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Right.
Because
the fucking antennas are moving.
The thing about special effects is special effects are good when you don't notice them. Right. And much like King of Fighters, segue, there's so many things in this game that if you're just pressing buttons, just messing around, you wouldn't notice. Like the bunny hops, like the different like charge moves, like the max mode, like the meter stuff, like how you pick characters.
I saw there was another thing for the blocking.
Yes. So there's like guard breaks, like if you block too much. It's kind of like...
What happens if it gets to the end of the blue...
They can't block. They like get staggered.
Fucked?
Yeah, and there are moves you can do that are actual guard breaks.
Okay.
That will like smash through it.
Okay.
As well.
Huh.
Right? I haven't really gotten into that.
Oh, like it gets rid of the whole thing?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Like they're like block, and then you're just bam.
So is there like a way like after that you can get it back if you like,
it goes
wait
back.
long enough?
It charges back up like very fast.
Oh, it does. Okay.
It is way more forgiving than even Smash Brothers.
Okay.
This is a game about blocking. You block a lot.
Okay.
Like the last guy you fight, a Tomaraga and Reverse, like those two guys will just annihilate you if you're not blocking.
I see.
Like, yeah. So it's a fun game. It's a complicated game. It's a game you have to be dedicated to. You know, we do a lot of talking about like replay value and like
this is probably a game you can play the rest of your life.
Right.
Right.
It's like, how long am I going to play? How long do I have 100 hours of gameplay in here? Well, it depends
how good you want to be.
How good you want to be, how you want to do it.
So I have a question. So there's fighting game competitions, right?
Yeah.
Now I know nothing about that world, but like, let's say the King of Fighters series. There's all these games in it.
Yeah.
Or let's take the Street Fighter series. There's all these games in it. If you go to a fighting game competition, do people only care about who wins the newest Street Fighter game in a competition, or is there like, you know, what's like the fifth game here? Does anybody care if you beat the one from 1998?
So the biggest fighting
Do you know
game,
what I mean?
The biggest fighting game tournament on the planet is Evo.
Yeah.
It happens in August at Mandalay Bay.
Yeah.
I will be there, so come find me, I guess, if you want to.
Right.
And Evo, they pick 6 games. And let's talk about what games they picked, because I think that'll tell you something about it.
Okay.
King of Fighters 15, Street Fighter 5.
So
both the newest version.
The newest version.
Mortal Kombat 11.
New.
Tekken 7.
Is that the newest one?
Yes. Guilty Gear Strive, which is the newest.
Uh-huh.
What's the 6th game? Melty Blood.
Okay.
But it's the most recent.
So it's all the most recent shit.
They're all the most recent.
So there's not a competition where you go and they're playing like Mortal Kombat 2.
They're just not very big. Right? People still play. Let's talk about fighting games that people still play.
Yeah.
For SNK, people still play Garou Mark of the Wolves, which is the last Fatal Fury. People still play Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, which is the best Street Fighter 3.
Right.
Right? People still play Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo.
Right.
Which is the last Street Fighter.
Right.
Street Fighter 2. So people still play Smash Brothers Melee.
Right. Well, that's what I mean. It's like,
so,
what if like the next entry that comes out? What if the newest entry like isn't that well?
Well, that happened.
Great,
King of Fighters 12 was actually like rejected by the fan base.
Right.
And
so
they
went
back.
So they just play the one before.
They play the one before. Or how about Smash Brothers Brawl? People kept playing Melee.
Right.
Right.
I didn't like that ball, the Smash ball.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I stopped after Melee anyway.
Yeah.
Even if the Brawl was the best game ever, I probably would
have
stopped
the
anyway.
Smash Brothers fans kind of had a shit fit because they took Smash Brothers Brawl and they were like, oh, we're going to make Project M. We'll fix it.
Right.
We're going to program.
I played that and had like Ronald McDonald in it and stuff. Yeah.
Did it? No.
The one I played did.
Oh, you must have played like some crazy
mod or
mod.
something, yeah.
But like they take that very seriously. And then those people went on and they made games like Rivals of Aether and
then after that, I was starting to mess around with like Mugen and all that, which has all all that shit.
Dude, you ever go on Salty Bet?
What's that?
You don't know what Salty Bet is?
No.
As a Twitch streamer? All right, I'm going to tell everybody about Salty Bet.
I just learned what subscribers are.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Apparently, there's these people that like give you money to like play the games or something, and then you can also do these things. Yo, so that's a joke, but straight up, I got something for you though, because I'm gonna forget. Yeah. So sorry. When I first started streaming, the first time I got a raid, and when I was back on YouTube, and everybody was like raid, and somebody from another country like raided me, and I didn't know what a raid was.
Right.
I thought it was a bad thing. So the whole chat was like lighting up with all these comments from this other person, and they were all saying the same thing. So I just totally like ignored it, and I just kept talking. I was like, all right, I was probably playing Frogger or some shit, right? You know me, right? So I'm just like, so I just started talking about the game because I was like, I don't know what the fuck is happening. And then afterwards, I was like, what the fuck is a raid? Like, so so now you're asking me like, oh, you don't, as a Twitch streamer, dude, I don't know any of this shit.
Right.
I do not keep up with any of it very well at all.
So I have a question for you.
Yeah.
I know a lot of Twitch streamers have something they say typically when they get raided, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like Jim Davis is a guy I watch. He plays Magic the Gathering.
Like Garfield.
Yeah, dude, he gets that joke so much. But he's like a really good Magic the Gathering player, and I watch him on Twitch.
Right.
And he's like, hey, how you doing? Where you from? Like, he always says the same thing when he gets raided.
Yeah.
Do you have something you say when a raid happens? Like,
No.
hey, I'm Mike Matei, whatever.
No.
No?
A little bit actually. So if I get a raid, sometimes I'll go like this. Hi, I'm if you haven't been here before, I'm Mike Matei. You're probably not gonna like me because I'm very opinionated.
Right.
And people don't like if I have an opinion and my opinion doesn't line up with your opinion, you're gonna be like, fuck this guy. So you might as well just leave now. And if you leave, I don't really care because like I'll stream to 5 people. I could probably have a better conversation with 5 people in the chat than I can with like 10,000. So if you don't like me, why like you don't need to be here. That's what I say. So to the new people, that's what I say. And then they're like, what do you do? Like that's not what you should say. I'm like, oh fucking
you should be like, hello my baby, hello my honey.
I mean I do that too. Sometimes. Yeah. I put on my top hat.
Put on your top hat, do a little dance.
Yeah. I do that.
Usually you get rated and like freaking Ernie's like out there and
Ernie.
Yeah.
So Ernie, I want to tell you something really quick about Ernie.
Okay.
He he has always said he is an expert at the bathtub.
Yes.
Because he takes so many baths just all day long.
Right.
So he typically likes to shock his balls in the bathtub.
Really?
He does.
Wow.
It's just one of the things he likes to do. He's got this little zapper thing that he does. And he's like, feels pretty good when I shock my balls in the,
Is that what's going on in your stream right now?
So
I'm just curious.
So I'm just saying, if you may have recently heard that he was shocked, he does that all the time. He's good. I just want everybody to know he's good.
That's just what he's into.
He's in my bathtub right now, having a bath.
Let's talk about Salty Bet.
Yeah. I just wanted to let you all know Ernie's just
all right,
fine.
So Salty Bet is a online casino with fake money.
Okay.
That is a stream that happens on Twitch. And they use Mugen. And they have it automated. So
not real money.
Not real money.
Okay.
So it's automated. You go to their Twitch channel and you bet on fighting game matches with like crazy characters.
Okay.
They have like this crazy customized, like 1 million different characters.
Yeah.
And then every certain amount of time, they have tournaments.
Yeah.
Where it'll be like a tournament bracket and you bet. And it happens 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There's just fighting games you could just watch.
I don't know much about what goes on in the other categories and stuff on Twitch. I just know sometimes I'll go over to another category and somebody's going like this, like into an ear or something. And what I have to say about it is, if you can do that and make money, God bless you, because that's amazing.
Yeah.
Like anything anybody can do. Like, I feel like sometimes that's frowned upon. I think that's fantastic. I mean,
Right.
people talk about the land of like opportunity. Man, if you can go and film yourself and go and you can make like $1 million, that's the land of opportunity. That's fantastic.
Here's the thing: they wouldn't be making the money if there wasn't people that wanted to buy the product.
Sure.
Right?
I think it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool.
I would like to go and have somebody pay me.
That'd be
Wouldn't
great.
you?
Yeah.
I think it's great.
So, back to the game.
Yeah.
This game has amazing music. I love the soundtrack.
Yeah.
The whole soundtrack's on YouTube. You can listen to it. It's
Yeah.
really worth it. Really tells you about the teams. It's a lot of fun. It has solid multiplayer. I highly recommend it.
Does it have online multiplayer?
It does have online multiplayer.
I heard that that's a thing now.
It is.
You can actually connect yourself to your modem
Sure.
and with the sound blaster, and you
Yeah.
can actually play another person in another house.
You can.
It's crazy.
I don't know if I want to do that, but
Yeah.
yeah. No, you could go there and get your ass kicked repeatedly because all these people have been playing the game for
Yeah.
70 years.
Well,
and-
that's what happens when I try to play anybody. You try to play people online, and all they do is play that game, and then you
Right.
just die.
Yeah. No, I don't think I'm going to be doing that, but
Do you play the computer?
yeah, I do. And there's like different difficulties and stuff, but I could.
So, what is your goal to get to beat it, or like?
I want to do in-person stuff. Like we do the convention, we do too many games. I bought setups that are going to be at too many games. So, hopefully.
What would be your dream situation with King of Fighters?
I want to like just go and I want there to be like 10 people just all huddled around the thing at the convention.
Like the old days.
Right. And then you
Right.
come and you bring your stick and you sit down and you fight
Right.
and
Just people who are into it.
just they're into it and it's like competitive
Yeah.
and it's fine and everybody's having a good time.
Yeah.
I just want to be able to play at a level where I can play and have fun
Right.
and not just be like, what?
Like you don't want to get blown out.
You just get blown out. Like
Right.
you don't want that. I want it to be like, oh, I win a few, they win a few,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. I think that'd be really good.
It's always the best to find a person with any, you play a racing game or you play a fighting game or whatever, that if you can find somebody that's like relatively at your level.
Yeah.
It's like, because it's not fun to continually get blown out, but you don't want
Right.
to always win either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, hey, I know I've been talking about it a lot, but I beat Kieran at Street Fighter today.
After he beat you 3 times.
After he beat me 3 times, right? But
Yeah.
that's fine.
Right.
Because I beat him and I'm very proud of myself.
Right.
And I was really freaking cheap.
Oh, yeah? What'd you do?
I was M. Bison. M. Bison has a slide.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's like an upper attack.
Yeah.
But it's actually you have to duck to block it.
Yeah.
And I was just like cheesing him.
Now what you got to do next time you fight him, you could use M. Bison, but limit yourself. Say, okay, I can only do that slide thing like twice.
Right.
And then try to beat him like
Yeah.
without cheesing it.
Um,
Was he pissed that you were cheesing it?
Oh no, he was fine.
Yeah.
He's good. He's good. And that's like his jam, man.
Right.
Like you want to know somebody who's good at Street Fighter. Freaking
Right.
Kieran is good at Street Fighter. I've seen him beat lines of people.
Oh, yeah?
Like it's really impressive, actually.
Right.
One other thing I want to say about this game is, Street Fighter has a light punch, a medium punch, and heavy. Light kick, medium kick, heavy kick, right?
Yeah.
There's 6 buttons.
Right.
King of Fighters only has 4 buttons. And even though it's a game, I'm playing the PS5 version of it. Even though it's on new consoles, we have a zillion buttons. We could do whatever we want. It's got 4 buttons. You know why it's got 4 buttons? Because it comes from Neo Geo.
Yeah.
And on Neo Geo, we only got A, B, C, and D.
Yeah.
Just like the Enterprise.
Well, no, there's E.
Fuck that. Enterprise D. 4 buttons. Neo Geo. King of Fighters. Yeah. I like what Scotty says. No freaking A, B, C, or D.
No bloody A, B, C, or D.
Yeah. Right.
Just the fucking NCC 1701.
Right.
That's a great episode.
It's great.
And
Relics.
there was a YouTube video where they took all of the different spaceships, like the Millennium Falcon and whatever, all of them from all the different shows and movies, Battlestar Galactica,
Yeah.
everything. And the biggest thing was the fucking Dyson sphere.
Right.
And they showed the last biggest thing, and then they showed the Dyson sphere, and it was like, all right. It was like
you could fit all the other ones.
All the other ones go inside of it.
Right.
Like times 20.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's a cool concept. But anyway, it's got the same controls as back in 94. Game just came out. Has the same legacy. It's so cool.
No, what you should have done there was 1, 2, 3, 4 buttons. There are four lights. That would have been better.
That would have been a better Star Trek reference.
Sorry.
This episode was Star Trek full right now. Like,
this episode was sponsored by Paramount. Go see the new Star Trek movie in theaters now. Are they going to make a new Star Trek movie? I didn't even think about that.
Probably not. Consider the
TV
see
series.
The 7 fucking series that they have running right now. It's cool. I hate to tell you, but like I'm on board with Picard and Discovery right now, which I know you would hate to hear.
Well, listen, I will. No, well, here's the only thing I have to say. Do we all remember when the first couple seasons of Star Trek: The Next Generation did not go well, and the show did not start to get popular until season 3?
Yeah.
So I don't like season 1 of Picard, and I don't really like season 1 of Next Generation either. There's a couple good episodes in there, but
there's some rough episodes in season 1.
There's some real rough episodes, but I don't know. Maybe it'll get better later. Yeah.
Yeah. The current season's kind of good. It's definitely a homage to Star Trek 4.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
Okay.
So we'll see how that goes. Things that you probably wouldn't like is we got the Borg, but it's kind of interesting. You know what? I think you should watch 2 episodes and let me know what you think.
Do I have to? I didn't watch the rest of the other season. Then.
No, don't worry about that.
Don't worry about
it. Just watch 2 episodes of the latest season.
Okay.
Yeah. Check it out. And if you're looking to check out this show,
I'm not gonna watch Star Trek Picard.
God damn it. I'm trying to talk about how we have podcasts.
We do?
We have podcasts.
This is a podcast.
This is a podcast.
Yeah.
And you can get it wherever podcasts are sold. Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, maybe.
Go on there and leave a fucking review for this show and say it's the best fucking show ever. Say it. And we also got
oh my God.
We also got these things. This is the part where I'm gonna shill.
Okay, we're shilling. Let's go.
This is the shell part. So if you want to turn it off, you can. So this is Kirby. That's one of the episodes.
And asteroids.
We did asteroids.
Yeah.
And Kirby. That was an episode, and then we signed it, and you can get it.
Yeah.
And I think you should get it if you didn't get it.
Yeah.
And these.
Special thanks to look at all these ones that are
so
going
many.
out.
These have all been sold.
They're all going out. Yeah, they're going
so
to people.
these. This episode was Bowser's Fury and what was
and
that one?
ActRaiser Renaissance.
Oh yeah, which you didn't like that one.
No,
Yeah.
I like the original though.
You love the original.
Oh my gosh.
And then
this was The Ascent and
it was Enter the Gungeon.
Enter the Gungeon.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I had The Ascent.
I want to play. Ascent was on PS5, right?
Yeah. Oh no, it's on PC.
Oh, okay.
It might be on other stuff.
That was the twin stick game, right?
Yeah.
I want to play that. Did you like
should.
it?
It's good. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I felt like out of a lot of the games that you've done, like I feel I actually want to play that one.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, and Enter the Gungeon.
Yeah, Xander had to take a lot of creative license with this one because there's really no it's like create a character.
Yeah.
So he had to make like this character right here is like a Xander original. The lady with the rocket launcher.
And then this one was we did Splatterhouse
and Clock Tower.
And that's a good game. That Splatterhouse.
Yeah.
All I can remember from the Clock Tower thing is you talking about how slow the person walks in the Super Nintendo.
Yeah, the PlayStation Clock Tower is barely playable, but it's cool.
What was the one you like?
The PlayStation one.
I thought you said it's barely playable.
It's barely playable, but it's good.
That doesn't even make sense.
It's fine. Show him Yar's Revenge and Metroid.
Yar's Revenge and Metroid. I love both of these games.
Yeah.
Well, this was Metroid Dread, which
you haven't played.
But I love the old Metroid games.
Hey, Mike.
Yar's Revenge.
Why haven't you played Metroid Dread yet?
Because I will someday.
No, that's fine. It's fine. You do you.
You know what? Hold up, though. Hold the phone.
Oh my God.
Before I play Metroid Dread. I never played the third one for Wii.
Right.
So I played.
You're talking about Prime 3?
I played Metroid Prime 1 and 2.
Yeah.
I never played the third one. So I haven't even played that. But yet, even talking about
what
getting
about
to
Other M? Did you ever play Metroid Other M?
No, I didn't.
Well, anyway, you don't have to worry about any of those games because it's a sequel to Fusion.
I played Fusion.
Yeah.
Which I like Fusion.
So you're ready to go because this is the sequel.
It was like 20 years ago or something that I played Fusion. Like,
Yeah.
I want to just play Fusion again.
Yeah.
So by the time I get to Metroid Dread, we got a little wait,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
So
Everyone forgot they re-released Metroid 2 on 3DS. Samus Returns.
they did.
Yeah, there's a remake of that too.
I just remember, what was the one a few years ago that was like, yeah, I guess. Oh wait, is that one?
It's Zero Mission Samus Returns.
The one from a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't like that. We tried it. I remember.
No, it's 2D. It's good.
Yeah, I remember not really liking it.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. Maybe I have to play it again.
Yeah. Well, let's look at that one again. Anyway, that's our show for this week.
Well, that's the episode. That's what we got. Well, I don't know what we're talking about anymore.
That's good.
But guys, pick up the title cards, watch the show on Spotify, and we will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye, guys.
I think Capcom does a great job when they're adding like collaboration characters.
I've never been able to extend this way.
Oh god, I gotta get the helmet on. Oh god.
Wait a minute, our guy's a bad guy the whole time.
I just think it's crazy that I'm better at video games now than when I was like 16.
That is how you fix all the problems with all these games.
I feel like toy distribution is so different than it used to be.
They resculpted over the chest. They gave him a flak jacket over it.
I laugh when I see Among Us, but I'm not having fun inside. It's a reflex.
No, you took my joke!